Welcome back to Chocolate Covered Pages. I'm Kiona, and today I am going to be ranking my top 10 favorite books that I read in 2020. So let's get into it. So coming in at number 10 is going to be Lovecraft Country by Matt Ruff. And this book is a historical fiction sprinkled with some horror and some supernatural elements, and it is set in Chicago 1954. I really enjoyed this book. This book is about a guy named Atticus who finds out that his father is missing. So when he finds out his father is missing, he decides to go on this journey to go look for his father in New England. And he brings his Uncle George and a childhood friend named Letitia. And they encounter some of the craziest things on this journey. Of course, racism. They also carry with them the Negro Traveling Guide that compiles a list of places where Black people can comfortably travel to and stay, places that will give them food. And that was a real guide that was put together. So I love that this author included that in this story. It made it very authentic. This author is white. He does a very good job capturing the racism from the Jim Crow era, and you could tell that he had really did his research. I do personally like the TV show on HBO better, but this was a very good foundation to build on when it came to the TV show. Coming in at number 9 is going to be Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter by Curtis Jackson. And I absolutely love this book. This is a part self-help, part memoir, and it is definitely one book that I read in 2020 that made me feel like, okay, you need to get your shit together. Like, for real. These are the steps. This is what you need to do. I think that this book is great for people that are looking for success. And if you're already successful, it's a great way to sustain success. And I love how Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent, I love how he outlines it all and he gives you these rules. I think it's 10 of them. And he gives examples in his personal life for how these rules have really worked for him. And it also gave us some more insight as to who Curtis Jackson really is. Because we just see the guy on Instagram, 50 Cent, and we just see him trolling people, okay? But there is so much more to him than what you see on Instagram, and I love that he put this book together. It's very well written, and I definitely will be going back to it. Coming in at number 8 is going to be Docile by K.M. Sapara, and this book is a dystopian novel, and in this society, debt is passed down from generation to generation, and you can go to debt jail or you can work off your debt by being what's called a docile, and you're pretty much a slave. That's what a docile is. And when you're a docile, you go live with another person. You go live with them, and you're pretty much their slave. They can do whatever they want to you. You will clean their house. You have sex with them. You'll have sex with their friends. You will do whatever it is they want you to do. So a lot of dociles, when they sign on to do this, for however long they decide to do it for, they will take a drug called Dosaline. And Dosaline allows you to not remember your life as a docile. Once your term is up, you will not remember what crazy things your master had you doing while you was a docile. So our main character in this book, Alicia, he signs on to be a docile, but he ends up being the docile to the creators of Dosaline, and he opts out of taking this drug. So as you can imagine, it gets crazy after that. Like, it gets completely crazy. There's a lot of kink in this book that I was completely here for. There was so much queerness in this book, and it was just like so normal. That's what I loved about it. Like, it was just so normal. Capitalism is discussed in this book. Consent. I mean, this book is everything. I don't understand why not enough people are talking about this book, because this book blew my mind from the first page all the way to the end. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely think you should pick it up. Coming in at number 7 is going to be Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. And I'm hyped because I finally found my copy. I don't know if you watched my last video, all the books that I read in 2020, and I couldn't find my copy. I'm so pissed. But anyway, copy found. This book is coming in at number 7. I really enjoyed this book. I was so happy to finally get my hands on it. This is such an important novel, especially for Black women. This book is about a woman who, she no longer wants the men in her life to dictate how she's going to live it. I could just imagine this book coming out years ago and the uproar it started, because this book is still very much relevant today. Like, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Black classics. Definitely you want to get your hands on this, especially if you are a Black woman. This book is excellent. Coming in at number 6 is going to be Crosshairs by Catherine Hernandez, and this is another dystopian novel. I know, all dystopian novels. I really like dystopian. So anyway, this book is about a society where if you are part of the LGBTQ plus community, a person of color, disabled, anything that's not straight and white, pretty much, you are put into these concentration camps. And we are following in this book an ex-drag queen who, he's everything. He is absolutely everything. I loved being in his head and finding out about his backstory, how he became a drag queen. And I think I want to read some more books where I'm reading from the point of view of drag queens, because it was just so much fun. And he teams up with 4 other people, and they join the resistance. And that's pretty much what this book is about, all leading up to this big event to fuck shit up, basically. Like, and the whole time you're just getting each one of these people's backstories, and they're all so fascinating for how they came to be in this very spot, joining the resistance. And I just really love this book, and I want more people to talk about it. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson, and that should be no surprise to anyone that has been watching this channel for some time, because I really love this book. This book is very important. It is very similar to the R. Kelly story, but it's not exactly. It is considered a YA thriller, and we are following Enchanted Jones. She's an aspiring singer. She meets an older famous R&B star, and he takes complete advantage of her. This book was very hard to read at times, but it was very important, and I want to push this book in the hands of every 16-year-old girl so that they can read this stuff, see it, and recognize it when it comes their way, because this book is very, very important and everyone should be reading it. Coming in at number 4 is going to be The Secret Lives of Church Ladies by Deisha Filial, and this is a collection of stories, and I don't really do story collections, but I made an exception for this one, and I'm so happy that I did. I love the stories in this book so much. I feel like they're all so important. I'm someone that grew up in the Black church, and these stories are real. I wouldn't be surprised if the author took these stories from real events that happened, because these stories could happen at pretty much any church that you just stumble upon. Okay, my favorite stories in this book was Eula, another one called How to Make Love to a Physicist, and another one called Peach Cobbler. Those are my favorite stories in this collection here. But they are all so good. Definitely check this out. I will have links to all of these books in the description box. Coming in at number 3 is going to be The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. Another book that should be no surprise. This book has been everywhere. BookTube, Bookstagram, Twitter, you name it. And rightfully so, because I found this book to be really good. It's not even that long, but the amount of themes in this book are completely endless. You know, identity, there's queerness, I mean, colorism. I love this book so much. This book is about a set of twins that grow up in this town where everyone in the town is light-skinned. They are black, but they are light-skinned, and they want to continue breeding with other light-skinned people so that the town could stay light. Okay, so these two twins, they decide that they want to run away. So they run away as teenagers. They start living their life in another state. But then we know at the beginning that one of the twins begins living her life as a white woman, and the other one continues to live her life as a black woman, but she comes back to her light-skinned town with a dark-skinned daughter. And that pretty much sets the scene for like the rest of the book. We also follow their children for a large part of the book. I think like towards the middle. But it is amazing to see how these twins, both of their choices, how they have affected their children and growing up, and how they see the world and how they navigate the world. And I'm so happy for, I think it's going to be a TV show. I think it's a TV show. I am very happy to see a TV show coming together for this book. So you definitely want to pick it up before the TV show airs. Number 2 is going to be Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. And again, if you watch my other video where I talked about all the books I read for the year, this will come as no surprise. And this adult fantasy was everything I had been looking for. The last time I read an adult fantasy that blew me away, it was A Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. And I had been searching for that same high for a while. And this has given me everything that I needed. Characters of color, unique magic system. I mean, we have a guy with his eyes sewn shut. Okay? His eyes are sewn shut, but he can see through crows. That's crazy. Like, that is crazy. Who thinks of that type of stuff? Like, and that is just one component, okay? Like, bisexual character, non-binary character. This book is just a dream. Like, you would think of all these components and you would think that they would probably just not even work, but it is executed perfectly. Just perfectly. Just pick it up. It's so good. It makes you want to definitely pick up her other series called Trail of Lightning. I definitely want to read that one, but I don't think that's adult. I like the sex in this one. I'm definitely excited for her to come out with a sequel for this one. I cannot wait like years and years. I need the sequel to this book this year, so I really hope she makes it happen. Coming in at number 1 is going to be Beloved by the Toni Morrison, which should come as no surprise. The main character that we follow, she is born into slavery, but 18 years later she escapes to Ohio to her freedom, but she cannot escape the memories of the plantation that she was born on called Sweet Home. And these memories continue to mess with her throughout this entire book, okay? And she does something very horrific during this book that will probably, my mouth was wide open. I had to read that part at least 3 times to make sure I had read what I read. The house that she lives in Ohio is being haunted by a baby, which is crazy in itself, but it just adds to more of the craziness that happens in this book. And you just know that this is nothing but the brilliance of Toni Morrison. And I definitely have not read enough Toni Morrison at all. I will admit that. I've read Sula, which is amazing. And I have also read God Help the Child, which I also really enjoyed. Look out for some more Toni Morrison from me this year, because I need more of this. If you read a Toni Morrison novel that you think I should definitely pick up next, drop down in the comments and let me know, and I'll be sure to pick it up. So that ends this video. If you have made it all the way this far, make sure you hit me with a like. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so we could just keep rocking out with each other. Make sure you hit that bell so you know about all the videos I'm going to be posting when they're posted. And I will see you next time. Bye!